Hi, welcome back. I'm Joe. This is the ultimate love letter. Thank you for joining the conversation. We're about to get into the 1, 2, 3s to instant answered prayers. And what that's going to look like is step 1, and probably the most important step. You're going to have to step into your authentic self in every single moment. The step 2 is believing that what we're intending for will be our outcome. And step 3 will equal instant answered prayers. I am living proof. And this convo is inspired by just what I realized my life to be this weekend. I spent the weekend with family. It was almost like a reunion, a small reunion at an event. And even though I haven't seen a lot of this family for, years, some like decades, I noticed that when I was in their presence, everyone seemed to be doing, and I'm not saying they were being inauthentic, absolutely not, but everyone seemed to be, overly excited, overly huggy, overly, kissy kissy and giddy. And those are all the beautiful emotions. But I realized within myself, I wasn't so overly friendly, if you will. I mean, I'm very friendly. You approach me, I'm always with love. I'm always open. I'm always warm. But I found myself asking, why am I not so giddy like them? Why am I not just grabbing everyone and smothering them with kisses? Why am I not super wanting to be engaged right here? Although I am deeply engaged in the present moment, right? I am focused in on the event that we're at. I'm focused in on God. I'm focused in on what I'm feeling. And what I realized I was feeling was simply my genuine self. I'm not overly kissy and huggy. I don't feel like, I know society would say, you haven't seen these people in decades, you should feel a certain way and you should be overly excited and you should be wanting to engage there. But I didn't. I loved that I was being in their presence. I love that we were able to reconnect after so long. I love the moment. But I noticed that I was being my own self. I was being different from everybody else. And I realized that's okay. And even though it's okay, and I know that it's okay, it's not always comfortable. I am who I am. And thank God it took me many years to be comfortable in who I am. But my heart really started to think about those that are perhaps just now finding their authentic self. And that is what inspired this combo. Because perhaps you, like me, for many years, for most of my life, have not been living our authentic self. Perhaps we are still trying to be people pleasers. Perhaps we are still trying to be like the rest of society, our family. Perhaps we're being moved by how we see people use their emotions in life, and then we feel that we are not being the way, quote unquote, we ought to be being, the way society, our family, our friends, our peers tell us we ought to be feeling in the moment. Perhaps I'll call it something different. You are being your true self. You are feeling the emotions that you're feeling in the moment and you're expressing them. Yes, they might look very different to everybody else in the room, but ask yourself, is this truly what you're feeling? Maybe you're not a hugger. I'm not. Maybe you're not overly kissy face. I know I'm not. Perhaps you still enjoyed the moment and the presence and the people and the love, but you showed it in a different way. I want to tell you, if that's you, congratulations. You are living in your true self. You are living in your authenticity. You are honoring the way you show up in every moment. And here's the thing. That is what God says makes us unique, makes us special. We can only express ourselves, our genuine selves, the way we truly are. And that's going to take us being authentic. If I was to step into the emotions that I saw literally a couple dozen of my family members express, then I wouldn't be expressing my true self. Then I would be expressing theirs. I would be expressing their truth, what makes them comfortable. And I know it takes a lot of sitting still and a lot of work to sit in that discomfort, because yeah, it can be a little uncomfortable when you are just sitting in your true self, because you're thinking, if you let your mind tell you, you're thinking like, perhaps the family is thinking I'm not enjoying myself. Perhaps they think I don't want to be here. Perhaps I'm being rude. The mind will lie to us constantly. It will always be telling us what it thinks is a problem. Because being our true self, the mind doesn't want it. The ego wants to take over. The ego wants us to be comfortable being like everyone else. The ego wants us to abandon our true self so that it can step in uniformity, which is really the most uncomfortable place to be. Have you ever been to a party and you acted out the way you thought you ought to be? Weren't you deeply, you were uncomfortable because it's not your true self. When we are not living aligned with our source, with it, which is our real self, it is a highly uncomfortable space. That calling, that need to express ourselves the way we desire, the way we are truly feeling, will never be quieted as long as we are living for others. What was interesting is, even me, and I've grown a lot in this space, but even me, I found it a tad bit uncomfortable to be able to just be the only one who wasn't overjoyed. And I was joyful. I was happy to be there, but I wasn't overly expressing it the way everyone else was. So it felt a tad bit uncomfortable, but I just kept reminding myself, well, no, this is valid. This is how I feel. I'm enjoying myself. And this is what it looks like for me to be enjoying myself in this moment. And you know what, to my surprise, when the event ended and we said our goodbyes, everyone, the family that it seemed like I only spent a few minutes speaking with, that I sat next to actually most of the event, were just overjoyed. I'm so glad I spent this time with you. I'm so glad to see you. They were so expressive. It's almost as if they felt the love, even though in my mind, I wasn't expressing it the way everybody else was, but they felt the quiet love. And that is the power of our authenticity. It is felt by those that it's meant to be felt by. Now, this doesn't mean you're not going to lose people along the way. You absolutely will. Being your genuine self will remove those that are not your people. But that's okay, because you want God to move those out of the way, those ingenuine people, those people who are not living their true self. They can't stand to be in the presence of those who are living such genuine lives. Allow God to move those. But the ones who see you, the ones who your authenticity resonates, the ones perhaps who are also living their authentic self or striving to live their authentic self, those people will remain because they are inspired. They can feel the love and the warmth that's radiating off you when you are simply just being who you are, when you are simply just expressing yourself genuinely, authentically, and in your true self. That leads to our step 2. what we intend to be created. So in that moment, as I was, fighting a bit of discomfort with, not being overly quote unquote friendly, I'll just say, but I'm always friendly. That's not the exact word, but being overly expressive with my love, but instead allowing my love to radiate off of me and just be. As I was fighting those moments, thinking, should I be more outwardly expressive? Every time I would remind myself that I'm just being my true self, the intention was that it would be felt. The intention was that they would be able to see that I love them, that I'm enjoying myself, that I'm just being who I am at the core. And it doesn't mean to hinder anybody. It doesn't mean I love them any less. It doesn't mean that I'm enjoying them any less. But my intention was that my love would be felt. And then so it was. And it wasn't revealed clearly until the moment it came for me to leave. Everyone flocked. Everyone said how they enjoyed being there with me. Everyone said how they loved me. Everyone said how they were blessed by the moment of just being in our presence. That's the power of our intention. That's the power of believing that whatever will be in the future, in the next moment, really all we have is this moment, but you get where I'm going. Believing for whatever it is that we want it to be will be, because you are living in your authentic self. You cannot accurately intend anything over your life when you are living misaligned with source. You can try. Perhaps sometimes every blue moon you might hit the mark, but for the most part you're missing it. And even the times when you hit the mark, you're not fulfilled because you're not living your authentic self. When you're not living your authentic self, then you don't really even understand what the mark is that you want to hit. You may think you want to hit that mark, but when you hit it, if you hit it, you'll realize, oh wait, that's not it. That wasn't really what I wanted. Well, of course, because you're misaligned with source. Only source really truly knows what you want. You may think you know what you want, but when you're misaligned, when you're living out of your authenticity, then everything else is just off as well. And those will include the goals, the marks that we think we want to hit. When I'm thinking about when I was not living my true self and the dreams and the goals that I had, even though I had these dreams and I would intend to achieve those dreams, nothing I intend ever happened the way it needed to or the way I thought it would. And make no mistake, even though when God answers your prayers, they won't always look the way you intend. But when you are living misaligned with your source, and when you set an intention to achieve something, not only do we often, most of the times, miss the mark, but what is created is from the intention of our misalignment, the intention of our not true self, the intention of our ego, which is usually, what is the ego? It's pain. It's less than. It thinks it wants something, but as soon as we achieve it, we realize we're not fulfilled there. The only way to intend something that's fulfilling, intend something that is going to be according to God's will, intend something that is our true self, would be to go back to step one, to be our true self in the moment. This whole weekend, I realized I no longer, and that will lead to our step 3, which is the instant answered prayers. As I'm living in my true self, and as I intend every single day to see a miracle, because that is literally an intention I set every single day. I wake up every day and I just thank God for the miracle of today. And I've been doing that for several weeks now. And every single day, there is a miracle. Whether that's a breakthrough in my mindset, whether it's that I went through a day of adversity in complete calmness, that's a miracle. Whether it's I got amazing news from clients or amazing news from my doctor, those were actual miracles that happened to me just this week. But every day it's a miracle because I intend for there to be one. And so there is. But now something has happened. Now God is answering the prayers, not only instantly, but now before I even have a chance to pray them. I mean, I talked to God about it, so I guess that is a prayer. But before I can set it in motion to achieve that prayer, it's already done. Like God instantly just granted it. For instance, I'm partnered with a nonprofit organization and I do life coaching with them and I love what I do. And just about a month ago, I said, you know what? Yeah, it's time for me to increase my rate. Like I'm due for an increase. I'm due for the promotion. And I'm going to begin to speak to the organization about that increase. And I set a date, a time where I would make time to meet with them to discuss this. To my surprise, but of course I'm not surprised because this is how God works, they reached me the other day. And they just said, hey, we want you to know that we're going to go ahead and give you an increase. And I thought, look at God. I set the intention with God. I knew my worth. I'm living my genuine self. I'm adding value. And I know organically, again, that's my soul telling me, it is time for a promotion. It is time to earn more money. And here comes, before I can even ask, I just need to ask God, set my attention and stand in my true self. And then God bestows the rewards, and the awards. But here it is, the organization reached me. Done. I didn't need to ask. They didn't need to know where my mind was going. No, you're worth this. This is what we will begin to offer you. Easy. I didn't need to do another thing. That happens, quite honestly, pretty often. Those instant answered prayers were really, I didn't even realize I was praying. I was just talking to God about it, but I guess that's a prayer. And then God awards it. Absolutely. You are worthy. It's like God is saying, oh yeah, you feel that you're worthy of that? You're right. I believe it too. In fact, of course you believe you're worthy of it because I'm telling you from the depths of you, from the depths of your authenticity that you are worthy. And I'm glad you recognize it too. Congratulations, it is done. But we can only get to those instant answers prayers if we believe that we are worthy of them. What we expect every single day is what will be created. Perhaps you're waking up in the morning and you're just thinking, today is going to be a hard day. I got a lot on my plate. Today, I don't know how I'm going to make the ends meet. If you are speaking to yourself that way, for one, you are not living in your authentic self because your authentic self is riches, royals, abundance, more than enough. And if you are not living by your authentic self, and then you wake up every day and you're speaking these harmful words, these spells over your life, then congratulations. If that's what you believe, then that's what it would be in the future. We are that powerful. If you are saying things to yourself like I'm broke, or I am cheap, or I can't spend money on that, or I can't do that, do yourself a service and remove those words from your vocabulary, never to use them again. You can see the effects of the words over your life. If you've been speaking those words over your life, look around your life right now. Everything that you cannot afford, everything that you cannot have, everything that you are feeling to the depths of you has been created in your life. And it's not a byproduct of just life. Life is just not giving you this. No, you are speaking these spells over your life. You are believing that this is all that it can be. So then by the power of your thoughts, by the power of your lack of stepping into your authenticity, because if you're believing you're poor, that's not your authentic self, it will be created in the future. But there is a better way. If you begin right now to expect riches to come, expect increases to come, expect only high quality individuals and experiences to come. If you wake up every day and begin to say exactly that, thank you, God, for the miracle. Thank you, God, for the easy day. Thank you, God, for the peace of today. Thank you, God, for the beautiful people I'm going to meet today. So then it will be your experience. Because now you're living in your authentic self, which is riches, which is abundance, which is your gifts. And then so as you intend and you believe them to be in your future, so then they will be. So then it will equal instant answered prayers. So to recap, step into your true self. Let go of the thought of you need to please people. Pleasing people will never please everyone. And actually, you're going to push away those genuine, high revering, authentic relationships because, for one, you're not aligned with them. And for two, you're like a repellent for them. People who are living their authentic self see straight through those who are not. I can see you a mile away when you are not living your authentic self. And I am repelled. Like, I don't want to be in your presence. It's uncomfortable for me to watch you be a people pleaser, be a brown noser, be someone you're not. I can't watch it for you because I know you're worthy of so much more. It's almost like a train wreck. And I don't want to see it for you. I want to see you in the best light. So I'll step away and I'll intend that one day you step into your true self. So that's why I'm repelled away. It's uncomfortable for me. And the only people who will remain will be those who are too living in that painful, inauthentic self themselves. And nothing great is created from that standpoint. Nothing great can come. Our whole power is by being our genuine self. And by being our genuine self, we can now intend with precision all the very things that are aligned with our genuine self, all the experiences, all the money, all the experiences, all the peace, all the health in the world. And then 3, God will instantly answer those prayers over your life. That's how it works. Don't sell yourself short. Go to your step 1 now. Stand in your truth. I know it's uncomfortable, but it is so worth it. You are worthy to express yourself fully. You are worthy. The world wants to hear from you. They want to hear your story. They want to hear your life, your struggles, your dreams, your victories. The world is inspired when they see someone who is living their truth. You know you're inspired when you see those that are living theirs. Now it can be you. Actually, it's time to be you. Go live your authentic self today. Believe anything that you want to have from that standpoint will be created in the future. And then 3, they absolutely will be. Thank you so much for joining this convo. Until next time, love yourself and love others. We'll chat again soon. Bye for now.